about it for real. Beyond charity and beyond mutual aid, what is communal care? What does that look like?
I'll take that one first. Communal care, at its roots, it's about looking out for one another, in my mind. As it relates to food insecurity, as it relates to just social determinants of health, we as a community should not wait until an individual is at its lowest before we kick in, right? There should be a system, a safety net, but more especially a community that's joined at the hips to be able to recognize those needs and be able to be in the balance, right? I think that it's a community that works together no matter what the need may be to help fill the gap within themselves.
Collaboration.
Collaboration. And for me, I work in the tech entrepreneurship space. And it is very important to be intentional and to build those relationships. And one of the things when I was growing up, which not too far, I grew up on Woodrow Wilson and Highland, just not too far from here. That brings a lot of memories of being able to play on the playground and having those aunties. And I'm finding myself being the auntie in the tech space. And that was something new. When you think about business, sometimes you don't think about those type of relationships. But as I'm navigating, and particularly watching the younger folks building their tech business, they need that auntie, to help say, go here, don't go here, or this is what this looks like, or this is what they're really asking. So I have decided and accepted to step into that role of being that auntie, and that is very important when you're talking about communal care.
Thank you for doing that. I have some thoughts, but I want to wait.
Yeah, I'll touch bases on that as well. The communal care to me is really the African proverb, it takes a village, right? And so the village brings all different perspectives and assets and materials to that communal care of that individual. And I'm a big social deterrence of health, Maslow hierarchy. Like, you shouldn't just communal care with one sector. You need to communal care with every last sector that will be resilient to your social deterrence of health. So if that's shelter, that's food, that's clothing, all those different things, you need operational aspects for those people to communicate together and collaborate with one another to uplift. And don't engage at the detrimental aspects of the community. But even if you feel that person at their higher self, they can even go higher. Invest into them when you feel that they are at their tippiest top perfectionist moment. Still invest.
I agree, Screal.
So good. I want to take us on a trip in this neighborhood, but going back 66 years. My grandfather just celebrated his 90th birthday, and he's inside having a little party right now. And he engaged my grandmother in this neighborhood in 1959. And this is where our family started. I'm looking at aunties and uncles that helped raise me in this audience. Auntie Candace, Uncle Ward. I see my sister and my brother-in-law, my little niece over there. But this is the community that raised us. I went to Paul Robeson Academy at Finkel and Linwood, and Ralph Bland, Spencer Murray, Ray Johnson, Hubert Massey. These were my educators and the men that had an impression on me of what healthy masculinity looked like. And when I think about communal care, I think of them and the model that was set. At that time, too, in Detroit, we were pretty much all that we had. This renaissance that we're experiencing had not yet budded. And everything that I can think of, the pet store owner was black, First Independence, my first bank account, black bank, the grocery clerks, the owners of all the stores we shopped at, that was my reality. And I think there's a restorative element of going back to the future that we've become, in some ways, transactional. And I think we have to be restored to the commonness of when we shared all things in common, and when we had less, we had more. And how do we get back to understanding the interdependence of our communities and how we share? When you said you're willing to be the auntie, you've already done it. But you're bringing back that knowledge and that game to empower the next generation, not only with words, but with knowledge.